Welcome back to the 74th episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new legend, Mike Gordon.
Howdy. How's it feel to be in the midst of a three-parter? I mean, we haven't done this before, Drew. This is new territory for us.
Yes, it is.
And what an ending this one has. I can't wait to talk about it. But yeah, this is this is I think I've alluded to it before, but this is a really important episode for me, particularly the way it ends. So I'm looking forward to talking all about that. But we have to start at the beginning.
Yep. So this is Batman Season 2, Episode 38, The Joker's Hard Times. Episode aired Thursday, January 12th, 1967, directed by Oscar Rudolph, and written by Stephen Kendall and Stanford Sherman.
And we kind of alluded to it last week, but I just wanted to again point out that Oscar Rudolph, who directed this episode and last week's episode, and presumably next week's, he is by far the most prolific director on the show. Like he directed more episodes of Batman than any other director by far. He directed 36 episodes of Batman, which was by far more than any of the others. The second most is James B. Clark, who directed 15, and then our buddy George Wagner with two capital G's did 10 episodes. So yeah, so the Oscar is the guy who really knows this show better than any of the others. And so it would only make sense that he does this three-parter, especially if they had plans to make it into a movie, to edit it together so it could be shown overseas as a movie. I don't think it ever was done that way, but you kind of see even in this episode that it does have stronger ties, and there are some things that are a little bit different than your average episode. It kind of moves a lot faster, I found.
All right, so the last time we saw the dynamic duo, the Joker had them strapped to an altar beneath a colossal meteorite in the Gotham City Museum. Its cable slowly burning away thanks to a deadly thermite fuse. Holy mashed potatoes! When the thermite burns through the cable, certain death awaits the Cape Crusaders. How much time before they're crushed? Only Magic Batman knows the answer.
So, before we hear from Magic Batman, which I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this predicament, this is what I'm talking about in sort of the way that this is filmed as opposed to the other ones that we've had, because because it was going to be maybe shot as presented as a movie. We see the dynamic duo in the predicament, and I love how William Dozer says, you know, how long have they been there? Not sure, but less time than we last saw them, like so, or something to that effect. But then they cut away. They cut away to Gordon and O'Hara in the police commissioner's office, and then I think that's where they run across the Joker. And then they cut back to because they're like, "Where is Batman?" or whatever. And then they cut back to them in peril, the dynamic duo in peril. So I just thought that was interesting because I don't think they've ever done that before. Usually we see them get out of the situation in the cliffhanger. So I think that that's a way that you could tell that this was shot a little bit differently.
All right. Will Batman and Robin be crushed by gigantic meteorite? Let's see what Magic Batman has to say.
Thud.
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Oh man.
Yeah, I guess that's the end of the show. Let's have a nice night.
Well, I mean, since they cut back to the commissioner's office, I guess that's fair that he was reporting to the commissioner, you know.
Maybe. Batman tells Robin they have one slim chance. He managed to loosen one hand slightly. If he can get his batarang, he might be able to divert the thermite fuse. What the devil could have happened to Batman? Chief O'Hara asks, pacing back and forth with Commissioner Gordon in his office. They have been up all night waiting for him to call. O'Hara is getting worried. Agreeing, Commissioner Gordon makes a beeline for the hotline phone. We'll call Batman.
Yeah, because
The
they've never
Joker
done that
appears.
before.
Yeah, at least this time they weren't bugging Alfred every 5 minutes.
That's true. And Aunt Harriet is like, "Where's that sound coming from? What is going on?" Yeah, actually, that's another thing of note. This episode and the last episode, no Alfred, no Aunt Harriet. This is the sixth episode without Alan Napier and the 10th episode without Madge Blake. I guess it's because they didn't want to pay them if in case they were releasing this as a movie. They didn't want to pay royalties or something, movie royalties. I don't know. It just we'll see if they show up in part three. But yeah, we haven't seen hide nor hair of either one of them.
The Joker appears stating to call Batman, they will need a medium. The tenacious twosome have been trapped, tied, and terminated. Chief O'Hara exclaims that is a lie. Joker corrects him, stating they will be squashed in a matter of moments. Commissioner Gordon tells Joker he's raving. Joker corrects him, not raving, but raiding. His next target is Libra the Scale. Joker plans to steal the Carrara marble statue of Lady Justice from the courtyard outside. The Carrara marble is worth $500,000. Chief O'Hara turns to Joker and asks him if he has no scruples, you jesting jackanape. The Joker answers that the cash value of scruples is zero. As for Justice, she will be served with a hook at the precise moment the dynamic duo become the MASH Marauders.
Isn't it? I mean, I know you're going out of your way to like like to speak all this dialogue, but it's really, really fun dialogue, isn't it? Like it's
Yes,
just
it
really
is.
like the I think Cesar Romero is just on fire here. Like in this whole episode, he just is manic. He's laughing, he's cackling, he's more Joker than I think we've ever seen before. Do you feel that
I
way
have to,
too?
yeah, I have to agree with you on that because I thought the same thing. I think he's really shining in these last two episodes we've watched. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with this one doesn't have the penguin in it at all because he's still in the stir or whatever, because he got picked up in the last episode. So we don't see the penguin, but man, the Joker takes center stage, and that's why I was saying in the last episode that this feels like the comic book Joker in a lot of ways, because he just has got this presence that I mean, he was good before, but man, is he really shining in this.
I have to agree. Chief O'Hara calls Joker a demon and tries to attack him. With the flick of his wand, Gordon and O'Hara are frozen in place. Joker laughs, stating, frozen cops, what a delightful dish.
Yeah, again, we see that Joker has this superpowered device that is capable of doing things that he only uses every once in a while. Like he could use this all the time and do whatever he wants, but instead he just uses it this once, and that's it. He doesn't use it at all again throughout this part. He didn't use it in the first part. I mean, he has the ability to just freeze people in place. But instead, but what's cool about that is that it's the Joker. It makes no sense. He's an agent of chaos. You just can't figure out, like, if you try to ask why does he do these things or why doesn't he do the logical thing? Because he's the Joker. That's why he doesn't, right? It just and this version of the Joker feels like that version, like the comic book version. Like you just don't know what he's going to do because it doesn't make any sense. He's using his own twisted logic, and boy, is it twisted because seems to be getting off really, really, really a lot on the idea that the dynamic duo are going to be like smashed to death.
Yep. I think he borrowed that one from Abracadabra. He must have went on vacation to Central City. The Joker rushes out of the police headquarters and pats Lady Justice. Joker's henchmen show up with a forklift and a truck. While they are loading up the statue, Joker looks at his watch. Marble going up and meteorite going down.
Yeah. I'm no like expert on marble and statues and whatnot, but it does seem like they are lifting up and moving that marble statue a little bit too easily. I think marble is a little heavier than what they portray it here, but it's a certain type of marble. What do I know?
Back at Gotham City Museum, Batman throws his batarang. Bullseye. Batman hits the thermite fuse and it falls next to Batman. It burns through his ropes, freeing him. Batman quickly pulls out a knife and cuts Robin free. Batman and Robin roll off the altar just as the meteorite falls. Robin tells Batman they were almost tomato paste. Batman replies, instead, Joker is going to be canned.
So I'm gonna make a bold statement here and say that this is one of the coolest resolutions of a cliffhanger we've ever had. He gets out the batarang, flings it up, and granted, I'm like, wow, he could move his hands all the way up over his head. Like, how well was he tied? But I think we could say, okay, he used the boomerang, the batarang to sort of cut the ties a little bit so he could do that. Flicks that thing up and it spirals out, and then he quickly cuts himself free, cuts Robin free. They roll out the as you pointed out, the meteorite falls, and they're not like, I mean, Robin's like, whoo, that was a close one, and Batman's like, we gotta go because we gotta go get this guy, and they just go off. They don't spend a lot of time worrying about it. That's why I'm saying like this story moves so fast. It's hardly you get a hardly a chance to catch your breath. It's just but I thought it made sense. It maybe it's unlike any of their other resolutions because it actually makes sense and it's pretty badass, I think, too.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like the use of the batarang. We
Yeah,
don't
me
see it
too.
much.
No, I
It
don't know
gets
if
used a
they
lot in the comics.
they must sell replica batarangs from this show. I would love to have one,
That would be so awesome.
wouldn't it?
Yes. Back at police headquarters, Chief O'Hara wonders what happened to them. Commissioner Gordon answers shock paralysis. Commissioner Gordon gets on the phone and has the alarm sound. Outside police headquarters, Joker hears the alarm. He quickly hops into a police car and puts on a police hat. As the officers swarm out the door, Joker shouts at them, after them! They stole justice! And the Joker drives off.
Yeah, apparently all you need is a police hat to masquerade as a police officer in Gotham City.
Hey, if glasses work for Clark Kent, why can't a hat work for the Joker?
I mean, I'm not disputing the logic. I'm just saying that's apparently all you need.
In the Batmobile, Batman tells Robin to turn on the police radio band. They learn that the Joker has stolen justice and the tow truck is heading towards Juniper Street. Not knowing that the Joker made the announcement, Batman and Robin fall for his deception. Joker makes another announcement stating squad car number 72. The tow truck has just been spotted in the vicinity of Mulberry Lane and is pursuing. Robin wonders how the tow truck got all the way over to Mulberry Lane in 2 minutes. Batman answers that the Joker probably has the tow truck souped up.
Yeah,
The dynamic duo head towards Mulberry Lane.
I mean, it's kind of disappointing because it should be the boom bug, right? Like it's like it that's what should be but it's just an ordinary tow truck. But I'm like, man, I mean, we do get to see the boom bug a little bit later, but I was kind of like, how come the boom bug's not doing this? But I guess the boom bug doesn't have a bed, so you could put the big marble statue heavy as it is in there.
Yeah. The Joker makes a third announcement from squad car number 41. The tow truck has been spotted at the intersection of Doppel and Briar Streets and pursuing. In the Batmobile, Batman tells Robin to brace for bat turn. Batman grabs the red emergency bat turn lever and pulls it. Two parachutes shoot out the back of the Batmobile. The Batmobile does a 180 and Batman presses the parachute jettison button and the parachute releases. Immediately, the Batmobile parachute pickup surface springs into action.
We haven't seen the bat parachute in a long time, and this is only, I think, the second time we've seen the bat parachute pickup team in action. So, Uh, but it's been, I don't even know if we've seen them this season. So that
Yes,
was a
that's what I was wondering.
that's a nice callback. Nice to use that because it was pretty exciting.
I noticed there was only the driver and the van. I thought last time they had two guys in there, but
That I don't know. I can't imagine it was different footage. I think it was the exact same footage that they used in the first time,
you're
uh,
probably right.
but I love how, the first time they used the bat parachute to make a turn like that. I think you mentioned that you're like, what? Why they just leave the parachute on the ground? That's kind of like disturbing, and that's just that. And then the next time we see it, there's a pickup van that will take care of that, and they have their own team. And I'm like, wow, they really listen to Drew, like, and because they could have just left it there. I mean, that's bat logic, right? But no, they actually go out of their way to say, "Don't worry, citizens. Help is on the way. This will be removed from the streets so that you don't have to worry about the bat parachute, causing traffic problems
Yep.
or somebody stealing it, wanting a bat souvenir." I would.
The- Do you? I'm gonna go off subject a little bit. I remember in kindergarten having like a parachute thing we used to play with in gym class.
Sure.
That'd be cool to have a Batman version.
Yeah, it's got the bat symbol on it and everything, and there's two of them, so you know, you
I don't
could
know if you
you could
guys.
you could use one to like fling around yourself and friends, and then you could use the other to make stylish parachute pants.
The Joker makes a fourth announcement as squad car number 98. The tow truck has been spotted traveling west on Finley Road and pursuing. Holy sonic booms, Batman! The tow truck could not have gotten to Finley Road that fast. Batman adds that the tow truck could not have been traveling west on Finley Road, which runs north and south.
So it wasn't the Joker's voice that tipped him off. No, no, it was the fact that all of a sudden they figured out, you know what? This truck couldn't be in all these places that somebody's pulling our leg. And Batman figures it out.
Batman tells Robin to turn on the police radio band cut in. Attention, all squad cars. This is Batman. Disregard all broadcasts on this wavelength. Joker tells Batman that he's supposed to be dead. Batman answers that he is not dead. They escaped his trap, and justice will catch up with him. Joker tells Batman he is wrong. He's stolen justice. Dead or alive, Batman is too late to stop his next zodiac crime. The brightest star in his criminal constellation, Venus, is about to steal Scorpio the Scorpion. Be stinging you, Batman.
Yeah. Also, the way Adam's playing this too, Batman's got a fury to him that we don't see very often on this show. I mean, his exchange with the Joker here is almost venomous, if you'll pardon the pun there. He really seems like he's like, I'm gonna get you. Like, I'm not dead, and I'm gonna really clean your clock when I find you. And I appreciated that too. They seem to be taking it a little bit more seriously.
Yep, I agree with you. The Batmobile stops in front of the curio shop. Batman takes a look at Chief O'Hara's rare art map. They figure out Joker's next target, the famous Duran Golden Scorpion. It's at the same jewelry store he robbed before. At the jewelry store, Venus poses as a detective investigating the recent robbery. She examines the scorpion and exclaims it's a fake. She tells the owner that she has taken the scorpion down to headquarters and that he had better have a good explanation. The owner chases after her, asking her if she just claimed the scorpion was a fake. Venus replies, Venus replies, the scorpion isn't fake. I am. Venus laughs, spraying the owner's shoes with liquid cement. I
Now,
love that scene.
it's great. I mean, Venus is all in here. And she might have been. sort of put off by the fact that and sort of being swayed by Batman in particular. I was going to say Batman and Robin, but I don't think she cares about Robin. But and Terry Moore's doing a great job here playing her, especially in this outfit. She feels like Joker like, dare I say, almost Harley Quinn like, in this scene. Um, it's interesting because apparently one thing I didn't mention in the first part of this that I found out when I was doing some research for this episode is that Venus as a character inspired the song. There was a number one hit called Venus in 1969 by a band called Shocking Blue. And apparently, this episode, this character was the inspiration for that song.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, it has doesn't to do with Batman or Joker or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know. I think I've heard the song a few times, but I know I've heard the song a few times. I think it was even is that the one that's covered by later by man, my 80s knowledge
Yeah,
is
Bananarama.
I think so.
That
Um,
okay, because I'm familiar with Bananarama's song Venus.
yeah, well, that's a cover.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
So
that.
yeah. So I anyway, so that's that and Terry Moore as Venus does get an arc here, unlike a lot of the malls that we've seen. She's not just one note, but she gets a whole storyline here, which I know that you're gonna cover in more of the recap because yeah, we see a lot of her and she goes through a lot here.
When Batman and Robin arrive at the jewelry store, a man in overalls is working on prying up the floor around the owner's shoe where the owner's shoe has been cemented. The dyna the dy Jeez. The dynamic duo is too late.
Yeah,
That
the okay, I did double check, and yes, that song that you're thinking of by Bananarama is the cover, is the same song. She's got it, baby. Yeah, baby, she's got it. I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, at your desire. That's the song. So
oh, okay. That
so
is
yeah, this character does inspire that. So that's cool to know. The other thing about this too is that the guy is working hard to get the jeweler out of off the floor. I'm like, why doesn't he just take his shoes off?
because that's
Wouldn't,
too easy.
wouldn't that be, and only one shoe, I guess, was glued to the floor. Now maybe his sock and shoe and pants are all glued together to the floor, so maybe that's happening there, but not the way it looks like. So anyway, I thought, yeah, no, that's pretty extreme to destroy this marble floor just so you can get out of it. But okay,
But it was also funny.
it was also funny. Yes.
Batman and Robin decide Joker's next target would be Sagittarius the Archer. They believe Joker's next target is Basil Bowman, a wealthy friend of millionaire Bruce Wayne.
Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to talk about the Archer again. Go back to that first episode of the season. No. Phew. I thought it was going to be another team up, Drew. Thought we were going to see Art Carney burst in with his arrows and everything, and nope, nope. We don't get that. So, and I'm okay with that, actually.
The Joker and his gang arrive at Basil Bowman's place. Um, they capture Basil and punch him out. Batman
So
and Rob.
so hang on, because you
Okay.
missed like I know you were quoting some dialogue, but I love this scene between when the Joker and his dad, he's got like eight guys behind him, it looks like. And he's like, "Excuse me, is this the residence of well-known billionaire Basil Bowman?" And Bowman says, "It is." And the Joker says, "And is he at home?" And Bowman says, "He is." And may we see him? You do. Because he's standing right in front of him. It's just a really fun sequence, a little thing, and but I liked it a lot. And as I did my due diligence, Basil Bowman is played by Howard Wendell, who was around from 1908 to 1975. He has over 130 credits to his name, Drew.
Jeez.
This guy worked a lot, and I'm going to name every single one. No, I'm not going to name. But the highlights include. He was in the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes with Marilyn Monroe, 1953. He was in the movie same year. He was in also a great noir movie called The Big Heat. He's in a couple of episodes of Zorro in 1957. He did a couple of episodes playing different characters of the on the Alfred Hitchcock Hour in the early 60s. He also appeared in an episode of Dennis the Menace, an episode of The Munsters, an episode of Get Smart. This guy worked a lot. He worked until he only worked a few more years after this, till 1971, I think is his last credit. And like I said, he passed away in 75. So this is sort of at the tail end of his career. But man, 130 credits. I mean, applause to that guy. I mean, that's a lot of work, and on a lot of stuff. And credit to him for being a character actor like that. And like I said, that scene between him and the Joker when he opens the door is really fun. Both cases, they just look like they're having a fun time doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like that scene too. I just didn't want to go through all that dialogue too.
Well, I did. I did it for you. That's why our episodes are now twice as long.
Batman and Robin appear from behind two doors. Joker tells his henchmen to smash them, but Venus grabs Joker, telling him, "Don't you dare." Joker pulls a knife on Venus. One move from Batman and Venus is a dead darling. Joker thinks they can find a more favorable location for a showdown with the Cape Crusaders. Venus tells Batman not to let Joker get away. It doesn't matter what happens to her. Joker states that Batman won't endanger a girl. He tripped he's tripped up by his own ethics. Batman tells Joker, "He who trips last trips hardest."
Yeah,
Joker's
that one
final
that falls flat. Like there's a lot of great lines in this show. That's not one of them.
no.
He who trips last trips. What is it? That flat or something? It's just
No.
it.
He who trips last trips hardest.
Yeah, that just yeah. I'm sorry. Adam
It,
tries, but that just falls flat.
it sounds like it's a playoff of he who laughs loud.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. But it doesn't work.
Joker's Joker's final prediction for today is that he will get clean away. He tells Venus that she will pay. Joker throws Venus at Batman and Robin, then escapes with his henchmen. Batman catches Venus in his arms. Venus asks Batman if she can help catch the Joker since it was her fault he got away. Venus is being sincere about helping catch Joker. She tells Batman that she is ashamed of all the crimes she committed. Robin attempts to revive Basil Bowman. He glances over at Batman and Venus. He looks very uncomfortable with how dangerously close their lips are together.
Yeah, that's I mean, she is all over him. Like like she's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, she's what's the Groucho Marx phrase? If she were any closer, she'd be behind him.
The Batmobile arrives at the Platyporium with Batman and Robin and Venus in the middle.
So you
Bat-
can fit three people in the car.
yeah,
Now,
apparently.
we've been in a Batmobile replica, right? There
That
doesn't
thing's
look like it's very comfortable for a third person to be sitting in between the driver and the other side, right?
yeah. I don't think she cares though.
Is she on his lap?
Not quite. Batman tells Venus to wait outside, which she basically stays in the Batmobile. Batman and Robin charge inside, and a fight ensues with Joker's henchmen. Only a few punches are thrown before they start throwing records at each other and lots of other stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I know, like a cello and or a bass and all of that, and it's a pretty fun fight. But I did think the second time I watched it through, I was really trying to pay attention to the records because I was like, look, if they're throwing actual vinyl, A, damn it, that's a collectible. Don't do that. And B, like that would hurt. Like you could really get like seriously hurt if a vinyl record landed on you the wrong way. So they must be sort of stunt records, if you will, prop records, but it does look pretty cool. I mean, They're just throwing them at each other and they're whipping them at each other.
Yeah, they are. When the fight is over, Venus rushes into the record store. They find Leo Katosh tied up in a closet. Leo informs Batman that he already paid the Joker $100,000 and he didn't even turn off that music you could drill teeth with.
Not a fan of the 60s rock music.
Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara show up at the record store, telling Batman it is too late to stop Joker from cashing the check. He did it 2 hours ago. Robin states there are only three signs of the zodiac left: Capricorn the goat, Aquarius the water bearer, and Pisces the fish. Batman remembers there is a meeting of the International Society of Zoologists in Gotham City. They're using one of the fountains to display their tropical fish. Venus asks if she can go with them.
Yeah, again, I like this.
Batman and Robin.
They're
Oh,
solving these they're not really riddles, but they're reaching these conclusions as to where the next crimes are going to be based on the map, based on what the Joker's doing, but they're not just going to the Batcave and using the computer to do all this stuff. They're using their brains. Batman's remembering things, or he knows this thing and this thing, and that's I like that. I think this is moving so fast they don't have time to go to the Batcave and waste time on the computer or anything. They're just solving things on the run as they're trying to catch up with the Joker and find out what his next move is. So, but I really like the pacing of it, and I like the fact that Batman is using his brain instead of the Bat computer.
I agree with you there. Batman, Robin, and Venus arrive at the zoologist meeting. Batman tells the zoologist they have to move their fish. Suddenly, music begins playing. Then the Joker's laugh can be heard. The Joker and his henchmen arrive in Joker's bug. Holy red snapper! The Joker's men are throwing fish at the Cape Crusaders.
So, a couple things here. One is that they're throwing red herrings at them, which I thought was fun. I don't think it would have been fun if Robin had said that, "Holy red herrings" or something like that, just so we know, because red herrings are mean something story wise. Then and so that would have that implication, which is kind of fun that the Joker would be doing that. The other thing about this too is that I've always felt, even without this storyline, that there's a connection between the Joker and Fish. And the reason that I feel that way is because of a certain comic that came out in 1978, Detective Comics 475 by Marshall Rogers and Steve Englehart. And as it just so happens, at DragonCon a couple weeks ago, I did actually meet Steve Englehart for the first time. And even though I didn't have a copy of Detective Comics 475, he had sort of printouts of the covers of a lot of his work. And so I had him sign a printout of the cover yeah, a print of the cover of Detective Comics 475. And that story is called The Laughing Fish.
I'm familiar
And
with that cover.
yeah, and that's where the Joker introduces himself, and he wants to trademark this designer Joker fish, and he goes on a killing spree to get this happen because nobody can register a copyright on a natural resource. So he goes completely bonkers and starts killing people, and it's a great story. It's a classic story. The Marshall Rogers and Steve Englehart run, it didn't last very long, but it is a great run of Batman. It's one of my favorite runs ever of that title. And it's been collected several times. There's several collections of it, but I definitely encourage people if they're looking for a good Joker story in general. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not in that because I think you have the greatest Joker stories ever told, right?
Yes, I do.
I I I bet it's in that book. So uh,
I'll,
you
I'll
could
check
check.
it out later.
I was gonna say you could check it out later, but yeah. So there is this connection between the Joker and Fish that I kind of I don't know if it started here. I don't know if Rogers and Englehart were inspired by this particular story. I mean, obviously, it doesn't really have any direct connection, but I made that connection right there.
With the Cape Crusaders busy, Joker nabs the tropical fish out of the fountain with a net. Joker tells Batman to be careful he doesn't get caught by a red herring. The Joker's bug takes off. Seconds later, the Batmobile chases after them.
We get a car
Be-
chase, Drew.
I know that was so awesome. I was excited about a car chase
It's not a,
because
I mean, it's not a great car chase, but it's a
but
car
still,
chase.
yes.
I mean, I don't know. Have we ever seen somebody fire on the Batmobile and bullets fly off the windshield?
Not that I remember.
No, that was cool. I was like, this
Yeah.
is this is really badass. I thought that was it really is really, as exciting as it could be because I mean they're only going about 30 miles an hour. Because the Joker is still on the bird's nest, and he's just still like wee flying around. I'm pretty sure at this point it's a stunt guy. It's not actually Caesar Romero. Although I do think during the scenes with the fish, I do think that Caesar Romero was in there, strapped down and moving around up and down, because they have some really close-up shots of him, and that looked pretty fun. I don't know if he, I mean, obviously, if he's scared of heights, that would have been terrifying for him. But yeah, I love this car chase. This is probably we've seen a couple, I think others maybe, but nothing I think this good. And so far, this is my favorite Batmobile car chase that they've ever done.
Yeah, mine too. Venus tells Batman to be careful and don't let them catch you from behind. One of Joker's henchmen grabs Venus from behind, telling her that is good that is good advice.
Yep. Yep.
Joker's Joker's men start shooting at the Batmobile. Batman tells Robin to keep his head down and his hands inside the car.
Yeah, because Robin, as usual, has his hand on the outer rim of the windshield there, and as they're going, acting like they're going fast, what they're not. But and in any case, Batman's just like, he actually admonishes Robin, like, get your hands in there.
Batman tells Robin that the bullets are getting thick. They are going to have to take a detour. The bullets are getting thick, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just a thing so that they could, arrive a little bit later.
Joker's men arrive at the warehouse first and hide. Batman and Robin enter next. Robin states that something fishy is going on here. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, but it really feels like with the whole fish angle and everything, it really feels like I don't know how this played out, like if the penguins was supposed to be in this part too, but this seems more penguin territory.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not, but it would seem to make more sense if it was. But it still works. Like I said, we get the Joker fish connection and it's still fun.
The Joker pops out from behind a folding screen and throws a switch. A net falls on Batman and Robin. Mercury brings in Venus. The Joker states she will be joining the dynamic duo for a three-course meal. Batman, Robin, and Venus have been tied up with chains and put into a pond.
Purple
With Bat,
chains.
what's that?
Purple chains.
You know what? I don't think I even noticed they were purple.
Yeah, they're on brand for the Joker, man. They're purple chains. Purple chain, purple chain. No, just kidding. Sorry, Prince reference there.
Which is appropriate for Batman because Batman
Um,
89.
I mean, yeah, there's some ties there for sure. For
Yep.
sure. We do know that Prince was a Batman fan, a fan of this show in particular, because he later on when he did the music for the first film, he used some elements of the Batman theme a little bit.
Let's see. With Batman and Robin out of the way and his Zodiac crimes complete, the Joker will have all of Gotham City under his control.
Yeah, I
Joker
don't know
tells
how that
Venus,
works.
what's that?
I don't know how that works. I mean, he just stole some stuff. I don't know why he has the city under his control, but okay, like it's again Joker logic.
There's some parallels there to some bat logic, I think.
I think you're right.
Joker tells Venus that honesty does not pay. Holy Lunchable! Are our eyes deceiving us? Has the giant clam really swallowed Robin? With beautiful Venus next to him on a monstrous menu, leaving the Joker free to confuse, confound, and control Gotham City? Find out next week. Same time, same channel.
Yeah, we're not doing the bad time or bad channel. What's interesting is that this is the first time in the whole history of the series that the cliffhanger won't be resolved until next week. People have to wait a week. They usually just have to wait a couple days or the
Yep.
next day.
Next day.
Yeah. So this is the first time that they have to wait a whole week. And have you have you seen this before? This episode?
You know what? When we got to the cliffhanger at the end where Robin got eaten by the clam, I was like, I think I remember this.
So I I will never forget this because this is something that is embedded into my brain, into my psyche. You know, there are moments when you're a kid and you watch things and certain things really freak you out. Like for me personally, watching a lot of movies when I was a kid, like seeing The Wizard of Oz and seeing the flying monkeys, those freaked me out. Watching Willy Wonka and seeing the Oompa Loompas freaked me out. I mean, freaked me out, like running around the house screaming, freaked out. Like, uh, don't shame me, Drew.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just laughing because I'm imagining you running around the house as a little kid.
Yeah, that was me. I mean, crying, really upset. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the kidnapper. Oh, that character freaks me out. And to this day, those things give me chills every time I revisit them. If I see, like, watch the movie again. Um, this is the ending of this with Robin being eaten by the clam is one of those moments for me. It is traumatic. It traumatized me. It freaked me out. I was seeing his little green boots hanging out of the mouth of the clam, kind of moving around like, and he was being like he's in there. Now, granted, looking back on it now, the clam looks, I mean, it's impressive looking. I think they shot it really well. It looks, I mean, it looks scary enough. It doesn't look like a clam, not any clam I've seen, but it looks monstrous. And it's tricky how they got Robin kind of in there. He kind of like goes, ah, and then next thing we know, he's rolling around in the mouth. But then when it shuts and you just see his boots hanging out, I mean that freaked me out big time. And what made things worse for me was that I didn't see the second part. I didn't know how, or the third part in this case, I didn't see how it was resolved. So for longest time in my life, I'd seen Robin get eaten by this giant clam, and I knew he survived, but I didn't know how. And so I had no resolution in my head about how he got out of it or being rescued or anything like that. So it was the stuff that gave me nightmares. And I only saw it like decades later when I picked up an unauthorized, shall we say, copy of the series because it was hard to get. Like you couldn't just watch an episode of Batman for decades. You had to either use, let's say, means that maybe the Joker would approve of, but Batman wouldn't have. Scruples and ethics, eh. Um, or when the DVDs or Blu-rays finally came out, a few years ago. Um, so then finally when I watched it and I got the resolution, I'm not saying that everything was resolved because by that time the damage had been done. The trauma had already been there and so yeah, when I think of the Batman series, this scene, this cliffhanger is probably one of the first is if not the first image that I think of. It's really close because it if ever I think of a Batman cliffhanger, this one is the one that really hit home for me because it just looked terrifying to me that Robin was being eaten by this giant thing, this big monstrous thing. And yeah, really, really freaked me out. So, but because I owe it to you, Drew, and our friendship, and as a bat chum, and because I have responsibilities for the viewers at home that are watching or listening to us, I put up with the trauma one more time, twice actually, because I watched the episode twice. And and for those people who I think I've mentioned that my Blu-ray player I didn't have it because it was fried by an electrical storm. So I didn't have a nice high definition version of Batman to watch for a little while we were reviewing these episodes. So I had to go back to being a life of crime, to my life of crime of using an unauthorized source. But I did recently get a Blu-ray player, so I was able to watch this in screamingly sharp definition, Drew. Um, and yeah. So I don't know. It might seem silly to you because I don't know how you felt about it. You said you kind of remembered this, but I found this terrifying when I was a kid. I thought the director and everybody did a really good job. Like just, because I don't think I'd ever seen Robin or Batman be in this kind of danger before. Not like this. I mean, it looks like Robin gets eaten. Like it really looks like he's done for. And that really bothered me as a kid. I don't know. Does that seem silly to you?
It doesn't seem silly to me. I mean, I remember watching this when I was 5, and it felt the show felt real to me, even though you knew it was fictional. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
When they were putting their into danger, it always, as a 5-year-old, it always felt like they're in danger, and oh no, how could they get out of this kind of thing? You know, Watching it as an adult, you get a different perspective of it.
Sure, absolutely.
So I have a feeling I've seen this episode before, but it didn't traumatize me. I was just like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this looks vaguely familiar. So, but this is one of the episodes that stuck in your mind. The Catwoman episode for me is one that stuck in my mind. But there's also this
That's probably for
mystery.
different reasons, though.
But I'm still waiting to come across this episode that's had me puzzled for since I was a kid about some sort of mining car or something, or some villain like busting into the Batcave or something. Or I know I got this vague memory of it. I've been waiting this whole time we've been reviewing these
To
to
see
come
if that.
across this episode to see what this is and what happened, because it's puzzled me for a long time.
Well,
This vague,
we know it's not the puzzler.
no.
It wasn't the puzzler episode. I don't know what scene you're referring to. If I did, I would let you know that relief is maybe on the way. But um, that doesn't. I hope though that unlike a couple times, we've run across the fact that the things I remember from the show, like when they were in the maze a few episodes ago, I totally remembered that incorrectly. So it was just something in my imagination, I guess, that this sparked, that this show inspired. So it is interesting that in this case, with the clam, it's almost exactly as I remember it. I mean, it's seared in. It's like my imagination is not there. I didn't remember Venus being there, to be honest with you. I didn't remember that there was, that and Venus being in there. This is like a first too, because I don't think we've ever had a mall tied up and facing the same fate as the dynamic duo before. So
No, this is like the first time I remember.
yeah, so they're really integrating Venus and her story into this. And it seems pretty sincere. Like I had my doubts in the first part whether or not Venus was on the level for being going straight and helping out Batman because it did seem like she was still leading them to traps. And even in this one, she's kind of leading them. She leads them to the record store, and that's a big trap, right? So, um, but the Joker seems to have be very, very upset by her and her turning face, I should say, to use a wrestling term. So Yeah, so and Terry Moore's playing her very well. And it's fun seeing like her in the Batmobile with the two of them. I mean, she's very small, so I guess it can fit. Some of the taller ones maybe would not have been able to, would have been a little bit more difficult, but um, so interestingly enough, I'm really curious to see the third part of this, and to see how it's resolved, because the ending is one that this cliffhanger sticks with me, and it will probably stick with me for my entire life. I just don't see that ever going away. So sometime, when I'm old, I will have, nightmares. I'll be screaming in the old folks' home. I'll be screaming about a giant clam, and everybody will look at me weird. But that's just par for the course when you're a BatChums fan.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode. Do you have a shout out, Mike?
I do. Last week we talked about my time, and even I mentioned it, I think this time too, a little bit, that recently I went to Dragon Con, and I just wanted to officially say, like, thank you, Dragon Con. Thank you for everybody who's part of Dragon Con. Thank you to Jamie and Tony and Jamie and all the other people who help run the comics and pop artist area, because that is where I spend most of my time. Thanks to Joe and Gary, who run the American Sci-Fi Classics track, because we have a lot of fun in that room, and that's where we reviewed the Batman Forever panel, and we had the Batman Forever panel with the anniversary of that movie. And I wish that was recorded because I'd love to point people to see that, because it was really fun discussion. Really terrible movie. I don't know if you've seen it, and I don't know how you feel about Batman Forever, but ooh, goodness gracious, it's awful. Uh, but anyway, but so that was a lot of fun, and I did have a few people come up and thank me because they were fans of BatChums. So that was really nice to hear. I appreciate people coming up and saying that. Now, hopefully, we've got some people who discovered this vidcast, this podcast, because of me being at Dragon Con. So if so, welcome. And I hope you enjoy the show because, yeah, we enjoy doing it. So, and Dragon Con is my favorite convention of the year. And it's a great show. I encourage everybody to come out, even though it's a lot of people now. Well, I think they said 80 some thousand people or something like that were there this year. So it's a lot of people, but it's also a lot of fun. So I will plan on being there next year, as many years as they'll have me.
Holy rusted metal, Mike.
Yeah, yeah, that didn't work for me in the movie.
I love that line. I I actually like Batman Forever. So I know it's a corny movie, but I I, I have fun watching it.
Yeah, I think one thing that we discovered is that it's kind of like this series in a lot of ways, in the fact that it depends on what age you are when you see it. Because you're a little bit younger than me, so and I found that people who were, you know, 10, 8, whatever, kids watching Batman Forever was really fun for them. That was a really good time, and it's got a lot of nice colors, and it's shot pretty well. But when I was out of college, I was an adult when I saw this movie, and when I saw it, and it didn't work for me near as well as it would have if I was younger. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I've heard a lot of people say that about this series. If you see it when you're young, like we did, it, like you said, you just take it, you don't realize it's camp, right? You just realize it's
Right.
exciting, it's an adventure show, right? And then later on, you can enjoy it as camp. Um, and and have that nostalgia with it as well, which we do. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I mean, I love it because it reminds me of my youth. But I also think it's when it's a good when it's written well, and like the two-parter or the three-parter that we're in the midst of now is really, really good. I really have been digging this. I can't wait till the third part.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. All right. And for my shout out, I want to shout out about the BatChums Patreon because now we have all the Batman Cape Crusader episodes up on Patreon. So we got the whole series up there now. You can go check it out if you haven't yet. And I thought a review on it was really good. So I still haven't heard if a season two is coming out.
I haven't heard either, but so yeah, since while we're waiting for a season two of Cape Crusader, we are looking for ideas for things that we can include as the bonus material. So if there's anything out there that you guys want to see us review, that's outside of the 60s stuff, because we will be covering the rest of the 60s show as well as a couple of the movies that they did afterwards, animated and even the comic material afterwards. So, but after that, we're still open and we're still open to ideas for what we can cover that goes that's still Batman related, but kind of goes outside of that as well. So we've had a couple of ideas, but we haven't nailed down anything yet. So we are taking suggestions. So if there's anything that you would help, because we appreciate you guys supporting us. So if you guys are supporting us, we will try to meet your requests.
Yes. So if you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line 317-455-8411. Text us, leave us a message, or you can email us at batchumspodcast@gmail.com. All right, you ready to get out of here, Bat Chum?
Pat Chums ready to move out.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Don't worry. The clam is still yet to come.